Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are kicking off a brand new series, Data Analyst Roadmap. We are starting with one of the most essential tools every data analyst use, which is Microsoft Excel. If you are just starting out in data analytics or want to sharpen your Excel basics, this video is for you. In this video, we are going to walk through the fundamentals of Excel using a simple monthly expense tracker mini project. By the end of this video, you will be comfortable navigating the Excel interface, formatting data, using key formulas, understanding cell references, and using shortcuts that make you more efficient. Excel is one of the core tools in a data analyst toolkit because it lets you organize, clean, analyze, and interpret data even without advanced programming knowledge. Let's begin with the Excel interface. At the top of your screen, you will see the ribbon. This is where all the main commands live. They are grouped into tabs like Home, Insert, Formulas, and more. Below are the cells and ranges where all your data lives. In Excel, every worksheet is organized using rows and columns. Rows run horizontally and columns run vertically. Whenever a row and a column intersect, they form a rectangular box called a cell. This cell is where we enter and store data. Each cell has a unique address which is created by combining the column letter and the row number. For example, this highlighted cell you see here is located in column C and row 7, and the cell address is C7, which you can view here in the name box, and the data entered in a cell can be viewed in the formula bar. A range in Excel refers to a group of selected cells within a worksheet. It is identified by the cell addresses of the top left and the bottom right cells separated by a colon. Here this range is identified by A8 colon D11. We use ranges to work with specific sets of data, whether it's for analysis, applying formulas and calculations, or for formatting multiple cells at once. A range can include adjacent cells like A1 to D10 or even non-adjacent cells selected together. For our mini project, we are analyzing a sample of personal spending data for the month of October. Start by setting up a simple table with categories like food, transport, entertainment, bills, and so on. Next, let's cover the core Excel skills. First one is formatting, which includes cell styles, data types, and number formats. Excel provides several tools to help us format and manage data consistently. First, let's talk about cell styles. A cell style is a predefined collection of formatting settings, including font type, font size, number format, borders, and shading. By applying cell styles, we can maintain a clean, consistent, and professional look across our worksheets without formatting each cell manually. Let's try to format the header row to heading 4. For that, select A1 to D1, navigate to Home tab, Cell Styles, then pick heading 4. Here is heading 4. Select this. Now the format of header row is changed to heading 4 cell style. Next one is data types. Data types define what kind of information a cell contains, such as text, numbers, dates, or logical values like true or false. Excel uses the data type to understand how the value should be interpreted and how it should behave in formulas and calculations. Before that, you might have noted that you can see the values in date column and some of the values in category, some of the values in description. In order to view the data in each column clearly, you can double click the boundary between column headers to auto-fit content in the columns. Now the data is clear to read. So for the data types, let's try to format the date column to a different format. For that, select rows A2 to A32, then right click, format cells, select date, pick any other date format, click OK. Now the date format is changed to a different one. Let's format the amount column. For that, select D2 to D32, right click, format cells, Select currency, okay, currency format, okay. Now the currency column has formatted to the selected currency format. So these are number formats. Number formats control how numeric values are displayed inside a cell. For example, the same number can be shown as currency, a percentage, a date, or with a specific number of decimal places. Formatting numbers correctly helps make data easier to read, interpret, and analyze. To quickly apply the style of one area to another, you can use Format Painter. You can find this Format Painter button in the clipboard section of the Home tab. This one is a Format Painter. Next, let's apply some alignment for each column. For the date, category, and description columns, let's apply left align, and for the amount column, let's apply the right align. For that, select each column and click Home tab and go to the alignment section. Select the appropriate alignment button. Here it's align left, click here. Select category, align left. Select description, align left. And for amount, let's apply right align. Next one is the basic formulas, which are sum, average, count, mean, max. Let's start analyzing our monthly expense data by performing a few basic calculations on the amount column. First, we will use the sum function to calculate the total amount spent during this month. Then we will apply the average function to understand our typical spending pattern. To find out how many expenses were recorded, we will use the count function. After that, we will identify the smallest expense using min function and the largest expense using max function. These basic Excel functions help us quickly summarize raw data and turn it into meaningful insights. It's also a good practice to use clear and meaningful labels. Keep summary calculations separate from the raw data and place your results where they are easy to read and interpret. To create the summary section, leave a blank row after the last record, and in cell 34 enter summary, in cell 35 enter total expense, in cell 36 enter average expense, in cell 37 enter number of entries, in cell 38 enter highest expense, in cell 39 enter lowest expense. Also bold the labels. Let's apply the formula in cell D35 for total expense. For total expense, we need to apply the sum function. Enter the function and select the amount cells D2 to D32. Then press enter. Here is the total expense. Next, let's find the average expense. For that, use the average function. Cells D2 to D32. Next, let's find the number of entries. For that, use the count function equals count of D2 to D32. Press enter. So the number of expense entries is 31. Next, let's find the highest expense. Highest expense, use the max function. Find the lowest expense, use the min function. If you like to apply any formatting like cell style or font types, then you can apply that. So we have used these basic formulas to analyze this monthly expense data, and we have created this summary. Next, let's learn about absolute and relative references. Let's compute how much percentage each expense relative to the total expense. For that, we need to divide each expense by the total expense. For that, add a new column named percentage of total. In E2, let's type the formula equals D2 by dollar D $35. Hit enter. So D2 is this cell and D35 is this cell, which is the total expense. Drag the fill handle from E2 to E32. Here is E32. This method copies the formula to all cells. Click in E2 and you can see the formula here. Click on E3, you can see the formula here. Click on E4, you can see the formula here. Notice that the numerator reference updates from D2 to D3, D3 to D4, etc. This happens because of the relative reference. However, the denominator remains D35 because this happens because of the absolute reference. We used absolute reference for D35 here because the denominator must always refer to the total expense, which is this, but the amount should be changed. When you copy a formula from one cell to another, the cell references adjust relative to the position of the formula, which is known as relative reference. Absolute reference always points to only one cell, no matter where you copy paste the formula. To create an absolute reference, use the $sign before the column letter and row number. Here for D35, the column name is D. Before that we have used the $sign, and row number is 35. Before that we have used the $sign. This creates the absolute reference. Let's create an absolute reference to cell A1. Here $A, $1, which refers to the cell A1. Its value is date. Let's copy down the formula. See, its value is not changed. This is known as absolute reference. You can also do mixed reference such as $A1 or A$1. $A1 logs only column and A$1 logs only row. So I have entered the cell address $B1. Let's try to drag it down. $B1 logs the column B, but the rows will be changed. So here it's B1, here it's B2, B3, B4, B5. Let's try B$1. So this will log the row only, but columns can be changed. B$1. So the rows will be locked. Here it's B1, here it's B1, and by dragging it horizontally, here the columns changed. D1, here it's D1. So when to use $sign? Always use dollar when you want something locked, such as the total expense or a tax rate. Failing to use absolute references is a common beginner error. Always use $sign when you want something locked, such as the total expense or a tax rate, and failing to use absolute references is a common beginner error. Finally, let's format the resultant column as percentage. Select the cells from E2 to E32. Then right click, format cells, then select percentage, and we need 2 decimal places. If you want more, you can edit that. Click OK. Now let's learn some shortcuts in Excel, because shortcuts help you work faster, reduce mouse dependence, and minimize errors. To jump to the end of a region, use control arrow keys. For example, the cell selection is here and click control left. This moves the cell selection to the leftmost data cell in the current row. Click control up arrow. This moves the cell selection to the topmost data cell in current column. You can try yourself what happens with other arrow keys. Suppose if the current focus is in a random data cell and you want to navigate to cell A1, then use control home. If you want to show or hide the ribbon, use control F1. So this is the ribbon. Now it's hidden. Again press control F1 to show. If you want to toggle between absolute reference, relative reference, and mixed reference, press F4 while typing a formula in a cell. Let's press F4. You can see it's changing between absolute, relative and mixed reference. This one is the name box. The name box in Excel displays the reference or name of the currently selected cell. This one is the formula bar. Formula bar shows the contents or formula of the active cell, allowing us to view and edit data or formulas easily. You can use the name box to move to a specific cell or range. Let's try to move to 10. Enter the cell address and press enter. Now the selected cell is D10. So you can enter a range in the name box and press enter. Enter D10 to E15. Press enter. Now the selected range is D10 to E15. Also you can use Ctrl G to jump to a specific, and you know that to copy a formula from one cell to other, drag the fill handle, which is the small square at the bottom right corner of a cell, and use it horizontally or vertically across the desired range. Know that this one is the header. So while we scroll down, we can see the header. Keep the header row visible while you scroll through the worksheet, and use the freeze panes. For that, select View, Freeze Panes, Freeze Top Row. Select Freeze Top Row. This option. Now drag. You can see that the header row is not hidden. This makes it easier to view and analyze data in large datasets. Wrap things up, in this project we built a monthly expense tracker in Excel using essential formulas and core Excel features. We calculated the total spending for the month, identified the average expense per transaction, and found both the smallest and largest expense. We explored the Excel interface, learned effective formatting techniques, and practiced organizing, summarizing, and interpreting data in a structured way. We also understood the difference between absolute and relative cell references and used keyboard shortcuts to work more efficiently. I encourage you to extend this project by adding more rows of data and experimenting to uncover additional insights. Be sure to subscribe if you want to learn more. See you in the next video.